Lyrics of the Lost.
Hello, and thank you for joining us here in episode 5. I want to take a moment to confess. There was a large gap before we could complete the previous episode. I made up some crap about returning from a mid-season hiatus, but you might have guessed that was a lie. The fact is, we took on a song called... I can hardly speak of it. A song called We Built This City on Rock and Roll. And it nearly destroyed me. I thought I could listen to that song a few times and it wouldn't affect me. I thought I was strong enough. But I was fooling myself. I took on a challenge that I just was not up to, and I can now admit that. If you gaze long enough into an abyss, the abyss will gaze back into you. And if you flirt with danger, you better be ready with a fake mobile number if it asks. And if you dance with the devil, remember he has hooved feet and may stomp on your tootsies. What I'm saying is, wherever we go on this journey, let's all remember self-care first. But now, as always, let's get straight into it. Episode 5 is this! Girls Just Wanna Have Fun, 1983, Cyndi Lauper. This song just came in at number 5 on Smooth FM's Feel Good 500. The lyrics of this song surround a central titular declaration that girls just want to have fun. That's quite a bold claim. Do girls just want to have fun? And what sort of this titular fun do girls want? I might stop saying titular in this context as I feel it's become distracting. Anyway, to find out, I've come down to our local high school to ask some girls if they just want to have fun. That recording is now being reviewed by police and some concerned parents, but I look forward to bringing it to you when they're done with it. Anyway, there is a video clip with the song that gives us some clues, depicting Cyndi Lauper and other girls apparently having fun, mostly via talking to each other on the phone, being in the sun with their sunglasses, and dancing to music with their buddies in their bedroom. So that's 3 things right there. It's quite a cheap video clip though, so they might have shown whatever fun was quickest and cheapest to portray on film. We can also look for answers in movies and television. Here's some ideas on what girls do for fun.
Bathing, dressing, undressing, making exciting underwear.
I don't know, girly stuff.
Yeah, so flower shows, shopping for pretty bows, and then back to her place, strip down to bra and panties for a tickle fight.
There was even a movie in 1985 with the title of this song, Girls Just Wanna Have Fun, including a cameo appearance by Cyndi Lauper. Unfortunately though, I can't bring myself to watch it. But apparently it's about 2 girls and their dream of dancing on a TV show. So that at least is their idea of fun. I went on Google and searched, what do girls do for fun? And the first Google result, therefore the one with the best information, was a discussion on a website message board in the US for fantasy card game players. And they were asking the same question. A guy calling himself Satanic War Master began the message board with, "What the heck do girls do for fun?" And he wasn't clueless. He'd already given it some thought and come up with 3 ideas. Work out, of course. Lots of people do. We want to be sexy. Go shopping. Go clubbing. Most of the others seem to concur that girls like to go shopping. One going by the name Evil Duck wrote, "My girlfriend told me they just play with their breasts all the time, though they're much better at controlling themselves. They find their knockers are just as fascinating as we do. It's like a gender-wide secret, though. I'm probably going to get dumped for this, but the world must know. Several others observed, girls seem to like to gossip. A Mr. Necrogenesis cautioned some of the others that not all girls spend their time dreaming about being pregnant and making sandwiches. While a mull-drifting mullet offered that an argument can be made that their socioeconomic status, among other things, has some effect on their interests, but that's beyond the scope of this discussion. A Mr. Snoop Doggatog observed also that girls are usually indulging their nurturing skills, and this may include things like nature advocacy, childcare, making money, and social networking. And he went on to suggest that they like playing some video games like Zelda, Resident Evil 3, World of Warcraft, and other role-playing games where the focus is on self-improvement and introspection, patience, and resource management. Meanwhile, Shu, the Archmage Overlord, had this to say: "It tends to be a male thing to need one hobby to obsess over and fill your time with, like playing Magic the Gathering. Women prefer to split their time up over many activities that guys see as chores. In essence, we dudes don't know what women do with their free time because they are more inclined to mix it up with their daily grind." So, lots of great clues there. The core declaration of the song is sometimes conditionally prefixed by "when the working day is done." This indicates that girls have a good work ethic and know that there's appropriate and inappropriate times for fun. Very sensible. Many girls use organizers or planners wherein they can section off windows of time for fun to then be had. This is very efficient as, during a workday, girls know that an unscheduled outbreak of fun can be quite disruptive and costly to production. I have to applaud the chorus, where they've really done all they can to push the limitations of the lyrics by rearranging "girls just want to have fun" into they just a wanna girls, which would make Yoda proud. "One fun they do just, yes, girls." I also applaud Cyndi's ability to find extra syllables where there seem to be none. Fun. Wow. I just wanna say son of a gun. That's good enunciating. It's also very brave of Cyndi to have recorded this song with such a bad case of hiccups. Just really soldiered through there. Didn't want another take. But I can see it's time for
Counter boys.
with my fellow academic,
Dave.
First up, Peter, I'd like to thank you and say how much I admire you for revealing your vulnerability to everybody at the start of this podcast.
Oh,
I think that took a lot of courage.
sure.
And in that spirit of sharing, I'd also like to make a confession. For some weeks, maybe months now, I feel like I've been living a lie. I've been denying who I truly am.
Oh, Dave.
That is, until after the emotional roller coaster of the last episode,
Yes?
I finally, I bought an entry-level USB microphone, and I can finally admit to myself, I'm a podcaster, damn it.
Yes.
There's at least 15 minutes of me talking that's freely available for anyone in the world to listen to or download. There, I've said it. I'm a podcaster, or at least I'm a regular contributor to someone else's podcast. Maybe I'm an assistant podcaster.
We've all got to start somewhere, Dave.
I feel so much better now. One of the things that I've noticed about podcasters is that the main thing that they do is appear on other people's podcasts. So I'd just like to put it out there that as a podcaster, I am available to appear on pretty much anyone's podcast on any subject at any time. Thanks.
Dave, I f***ing made you with this podcast. Where's your loyalty? Just remember, I only have to make a few calls to see to it that you never work in this industry again. Honestly, I was so close to being ready to start paying you. But now I am very far from that. At least until any money comes in. At all. Then we'll talk. Now please, let's get back on subject. Girls just want to have fun.
The central theme of this song is that girls want fun, and fun only. Peter, again, I congratulate you on your hard-hitting expose on all of the things that nerds think that girls find fun. But I'm wondering whether the girls have their priorities right. The global fund for women, who I reckon should know what they're talking about.
Oh, you said fun, duh. I thought you said global fun for women, which sounds like women having fun with their globes, like one of those nerds mentioned online. Oh, and now I'm thinking of the word titular again.
The Global Fund for Women list a set of priorities for women and girls. So these priorities include an end to gender-based violence, economic and political empowerment, and reproductive rights. Nowhere does it mention fun.
Huh.
Similarly, the World Health Organization, another organization that I think knows what they're talking about in general, lists a set of priorities. Gender equality, elevate the position of women in healthcare and workforce, prevent and respond to violence, ensure quality sexual and reproductive health for all. Again, nothing about fun. I've been through a whole load of these lists, and again, nowhere does it list fun.
Well.
Cyndi, I think you and your girl mates need to take a long, hard look at yourselves.
I know, Dave. They sound like right flibberty gibbets, as the old nuns in The Sound of Music would say. But please, let's remember, it's only when the working day is done that they have these wasteful and wanton thoughts of their own happiness. To a lot of people back then, this song became a bit of a feminist anthem. Now, I quickly found out in researching, it turns out this song was actually written in 1979 by a man, Robert Hazard. Here's a bit of his original.
Come home with the morning light. My mother said, my boy, you better start living right. Don't worry, mother dear, you're still number one. Girls just wanna have fun. These girls just wanna have fun.
So my first thought was that this song is therefore the height of feminist hypocrisy. You see? Apparently, Cyndi needed to have a man tell her what she and girls want. And only then, with the authority of a man's assertion to give her confidence, is she then happy to preach it through the streets, as she does in the video. Who knows, at a restaurant, Cyndi probably likes a man to choose and order her food too. But no, Cyndi really took this song and made it her own. By purchasing it, certainly, but also by adding her own charisma that made it wildly popular. And it subverts the meaning and perspective of the original with Cyndi performing it. Robert Hazard wouldn't have intended this song for a female artist. When he sings it, the story of the song seems to be about him reassuring his parents that he's not going to ruin his life by getting too involved with one of these good time girls. They're just a bit of fun. That's all they want. But as Cyndi sings it, she's proudly, maybe defiantly, rejoicing in that independent spirit, in girls satisfying their own needs, pursuing their own happiness. Robert made it sound a negative, perhaps slutty attribute, but Cyndi's made it positive. There's no romantic leading man in the video clip, as fun is not tied to men. After thinking this through, it even seems now much stronger as a feminist anthem since I learnt that a man wrote it.
Perhaps controversially, I quite like this record, and I quite like the way that Cyndi Lauper's taken a song by a man and turned it into something much more fun, life-affirming and interesting. This is particularly remarkable given that the band that plays on much of this album includes members of The Hooters, one of the least fun bands ever, and whose best-known party anthem features the immortal line, "Yeah, they were the Israelites."
Wow.
Now, to understand this song a little bit better, I think it's useful to take a look at the original version of the song and compare both versions. So as we've heard, the original version was written by a guy called Robert Hazard and describes a lifestyle of staying out late and having what he describes as fun with girls, which apparently is all they want. And you've got to wonder who's really having fun here. So is it more the case that he's having fun and justifying it to himself and his parents by saying that, well, basically, women want him all the time? Now, both versions of the song feature a verse about some guys hiding a beautiful girl away from the rest of the world.
Some boys take a beautiful girl and hide her away from the rest of the world.
In the male version, the protagonist in the song tells us that he wants his girls to walk in the sun, which is nice, and suggests that at least he doesn't imprison them in the basement like some of his other rapist friends. So we can think of Cyndi Lauper's much brighter and more positive version as a kind of antidote to this version of the song. Again, looking at the two versions together, I wonder what kind of fun she's describing. She's out to dawn, there's mysterious phone calls in the middle of the night, and all she'll say is that she wants some fun when she's finished working. It's tempting to think of her as a kind of cheery vigilante in day-glow colours with teased pink hair happily wreaking her revenge on the sleazy predatory men who claim they are just having fun with these girls. Anyway, look, I don't really have a problem with either version of this song. The male version's a pretty good bit of spiky new wave guitar pop, which might be a little bit creepy, but compared to something like My Sharona, which is pretty similar in style and written around the same time, and which was explicitly about being sexually aroused by a teenage girl, it's pretty tame. In any case, things turned out okay for Sharona. Her and the singer from the Knack were engaged at one point and remained lifelong friends. Look, Cyndi Lauper took this song, flipped the gender, and turned it into something more positive and life-affirming. Sure, it's a bit annoying, but annoying things can be good for us, like kale or a COVID vaccination.
Girls just want to have fun sounds too simplistic on one level. Is that all they want? Girls are much more complex, surely. Each of them are as unique, intelligent, beautiful, witty, show me your boobs, capable, and brave as any being on God's green earth. Our contributor Lenny is a girl and reads it differently.
I think what Cyndi is really saying when she sings girls just want to have fun is not that girls only want to have fun, but they want to have fun as part of the rich tapestry of their life. Girls want fun sometimes just like boys do, only with less in the way of public urination or hitting their friends in the testicles and filming it, or pretending to be disabled and falling over in front of alarmed pensioners at train stations.
So I'm rethinking this whole episode now. These lyrics, especially in the original, are simplistic and shallow and qualify easily as lyrics of the lost, but Cyndi's version is a satirical skewer of the earlier one, and it stands well on its own as a playful declaration of independence and a multi-layered protest. I just wish it wasn't so repetitive. But that's often the nature of protest songs, to be a bit chant-like. Peter Gabriel's Biko comes to mind. And thanks again for joining us here in episode 5. Thanks to all our contributors. Oh, Dave, I believe you have something.
This week, I was also sent a review of the podcast. This review comes from Kylie, who binge-listened to all 4 episodes while she was working. I'll read her review out in full. You're a tool. That's it.
Ah, what? Well, is she talking about me or you? That's tricky. Maybe she was trying to spell cool. You're a cool. Don't really need the That's sloppy spelling and grammar. She's clearly not in our target market of lyric analysts.
I think I should thank a sponsor. My contribution to this episode is brought to you by the dude who bought himself a USB microphone, opened it, looked at it, decided he didn't really want it, put it back in the box, and stuck it on eBay for a fairly low starting price. Thanks to him. And thanks to all the other people who didn't bid on it.
Great story, Dave. It's like it was meant to happen. Fate. But fate can be a fickle mistress. A girl that just wants to have fun. So beware. And use the power of that entry-level USB microphone for good and loyal endeavours.
I just want to take a moment to thank Peter and Dave for taking the time to explain what my people enjoy doing for fun. I'm off to have a crazy time folding washing now and playing with my boobs. Bye.
Thanks to Smooth FM as ever. And I'd like to thank the car manufacturers who are installing those new turning indicator lights. Instead of one light flashing on one side of a car, we now have a row of lights that animate in the direction that the car is intending to turn. This is a fantastic safety innovation. It's really eliminated the confusion I used to feel. You know, is that car really turning left? Sure, the light's flashing on its left side, but I don't know, I just need something more. So thanks, guys.
Lyrics of the Lost.